Hey, what's up, guys? It is your good friend Matt. We're back again here today at the only place that we always can be. And as you already know, that is Matt's Wrestling Collectibles right here on YouTube. Today, guys, we are back. We're feeling somewhat better. The last video that we did together, I was a bit under the weather. I am still recovering, but I am feeling much better today, and hopefully much better as we move into this weekend. But today, we have, of course, one of the most, definitely one of the most repetitive style videos on this channel, because I feel like there is nothing that we've done anywhere near 100 episodes of so far, but we certainly have here, as today we are on none other than episode 91 of New Pickups. And this is one of my favorite, style videos to do. This is definitely one of my favorite to put here on the channel. I always enjoy sharing what I've got with you guys and getting your comments, getting your feedback, and all that other great stuff. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into it here today, because we do have quite the large episode for episode 91. And if you've been with me for 90 previous episodes, I appreciate it so much. If this is your first time here today, you are going to get to see what it's all about. We're going to jump right into it with some stuff that we don't normally have on these videos, because we don't buy a lot of the media anymore. But I'm getting back into it. I am getting back into building the physical WWE network back again like it once was. Obviously, we have some people that can enjoy the network still in certain regions, and then others, such as myself, between ESPN and Peacock and Netflix. It's just a lot to keep up with. So for the future and for my own self, my own personal benefit, I am restarting my own physical media, my own WWE network once again. Do I wish that I never got rid of some of those DVDs? And we do have some already, as you guys have seen on the channel, the WrestleMania Anthology and some other great ones there. But these here today are new. We're just adding them, and a few of them might not even stay. We might actually put a couple of these up onto the MERCARI, but let's jump right into it. We've got none other than the Best of Raw, the 15th anniversary. And this is a 3-disc set, 93 to 2008. Very cool DVD here, and set of DVDs. I've actually had this in the past. I've already watched this. It is a very good box set, and I gotta say, as far as getting a little bit of every era and a little bit of everything inside that, you get this right here with this 93 to 2008 Raw, the Best of 15th anniversary. Up next, we've got the best pay-per-view matches of 2013. And I'm sure there are some real good ones on here. We might even have to pop this in and take a little look at what's on here. See if we want to keep this one or not. But debatable. Like I said, a couple of these I might be throwing up on the MERCARI. This one probably going to be one of them. The 15th anniversary of Raw could also be one of them. And this one here also may be one of them. This is the Best of Raw and SmackDown Live 2016. And a great time to get box sets and physical media, but not so much of a great time with some of what the product was doing at that time. I still was into wrestling at this point. It was around 2017, 2018 when I really stopped watching, so we did see most of what is on this already. I probably watched most of it live when it was happening for the first time, but a cool little box set, DVD set there, something that kind of, like I said, little bits that can bring you through eras, that Raw 15th anniversary, the best matches of 2013, stuff like that, I feel like was great physical media that we did receive from WWE for quite some time. And of course, up next, this is always the best physical media, can't beat it, and that is WrestleMania. Anytime you get a WrestleMania, I always think it's great to add it to the collection. So right now, I have WrestleManias 1 through 22. I then have WrestleMania 25, which is coming up in this video. I also have WrestleMania, I believe, 27 and 28. And now this was, I think this was what, WrestleMania 33, something like that, right? 33, I believe, or am I, where am I at here? Sometimes I hate when they do the logos. 2017, so yeah, I believe this was WrestleMania 33 or something around that, 35, I don't know, somewhere in there. But either way, WrestleMania, a great little box set here again. Like I said, I love getting these and adding these to the collection as I'm trying to complete the WrestleMania anthology from truly start to finish. And we can't do that without keeping the WrestleManias coming. And that's, like I just said, WrestleMania 25, adding this to the collection as well. I'm so happy to get this one. This was a big one, the 25th anniversary, of course. Remember it like it was yesterday, watching this live. I believe this was 2009 or 10, somewhere in there, right? Where are we back here? 2009. So 2009, how crazy that was. I remember sitting in my buddy's living room over at my buddy Gary's house. We were sitting in the living room watching this live on pay-per-view. And what a time it was, and what a show it was. Very, very good time. And boy, do I miss those memories. But WrestleMania 25 was one of the best, I think, especially in the new era, the modern era, I guess you could sit there and say now that we've had 40 years of WrestleMania and counting, it's kind of crazy to think that that's now on the second half of WrestleManias, considering, the first 20 to the following 20. But speaking of the eras and speaking of the greatest eras, we've got the Attitude Era 3-disc set. This is volume 2. And how cool is this? Got Stone Cold there on the front, and a very cool set. The inside, I like that a lot. The artwork that's in here, very cool. And if we pop this open here, you can see what you get in there. Some different colored discs. Some cool little pieces here. Like I said, this one definitely going to stay in the collection for sure. Up next, we've got Allied Powers, the world's greatest tag teams, and I will say this is a super underrated set, a super underrated box set, and I've already watched the first disc of this, and I was so happy to be able to have, again, this physical media where it's, just not all this stuff is on the network anymore, or you have to have, different places to watch and all this other stuff, so it's nice to be getting, some of these matches back on tape, and I'm sure we'll have a lot of stuff that overlaps other things because we have so many box sets that are, exclusive to a certain style like tag team wrestling, and a lot of these matches I'm sure we'll see as we get other, box sets or pay-per-views or whatever it may be as we continue to build our physical WWE network. And this one right here is definitely staying. One of my favorites, and one that I had as a kid. This was, God, I don't even know how much I must have played this disc as a kid. And this is obviously, repurchasing this now. But the Global Warning Tour is a great one from the WWE. And of course, this was when they went to Australia many, many years ago. Obviously now it is a much more common yearly event, if not more than, once a year, maybe twice a year. But back then, to go to the UK, to go to Australia, to go to Japan or China or wherever it may be, those were not a consistent thing. Some of those people were very unfortunate that they had to wait the amount of time that they did before they got to see, professional wrestling live again, or I should say the WWE live again. But a very cool DVD here, and I will tell you, if you have the chance, hop on eBay. You shouldn't have to pay any more than $20 for this, and it is a great disc if you haven't watched it. It's definitely got a lot on it. It's decent matches, decent behind-the-scenes footage, some extras thrown in there, some really cool stuff. So make sure you check that out if you have not already. But now we get into the figures here on today's episode 91 of New Pickups. And up first, we're going to show this one off because I did skip out on doing the unboxing and review video. So if you guys had seen, we did get this Corey Graves in. He is the Build-A-Figure coming out of that most recent set, the Royal Rumble set there. It has Ultimate Warrior. It has LA Knight, John Cena, and CM Punk. I did not want to keep the LA Knight figure, so I just put this together, and the LA Knight's already going up for sale on the MERCARI. So if you haven't seen this already, this is the Corey Graves Build-A-Figure. Amazing head scan. They did a really, really good job with this, and it looks nice. The tattoos all the way on the hands, the neck, everything. I mean, this is a really nice figure of Corey Graves, and I just can't wait to get his basic figure. We'll have that one. We'll have this one. Kind of a little bit of an era gap between those. And I'm really, really hoping that in the future, WWE will release a Corey Graves in wrestling attire as a figure. How awesome that would be. I think it's well deserved. He does come with the cans here, the headset. I just leave it around the back of the neck there, kind of like that, and it just sits with it being displayed like that for right now. But Corey Graves, Build-A-Figure from the most recent Elite Royal Rumble set. Very cool figure. Excited to add that to the collection. Up next, We've got another one here. It is Basic Seth Rollins, and this was just kind of a thing where I said for what it was, you know, basically, I don't even want to say free, but it was essentially free, or as close to free as you can get. And this one right here, I said, you know what, let me add this to the collection. I don't care for the head sculpt, but Rollins in a suit, kind of nice, little something different. And like I said, considering it was basically free, I kind of had to take that and go with it. So Seth Rollins, Basic Series 134. And like I said, guys, we're going to try to keep this moving. We got a lot of stuff here to show today, so let's see if we can keep this under the 20-minute mark. Up next, we've got another set of basics here, and this is the newer style, the more articulated basics. And this right here, Main Event Showdown, and now these are being called Main Event figures, as I still call them basics. But Main Event basics, whatever you want to call it, it is Hulk Hogan and Mean Gene Okerlund. And of course, Hulk Hogan wearing the Mean Gene Mania shirt. Kind of the reason why I wanted to get this, and really the only reason why I wanted to add it to the collection was because we have this kind of special Hogan. I did want to get a Mean Gene that was in a package in the box. I don't have any of his previous Elites. I did have his most recent Build-A-Figure, but we wound up selling that somewhere down the road. And I do love that it does come with the old school style WWF World Heavyweight Championship. So very cool here, and a very nice, piece to add to the collection. Like I said, having Mean Gene in a in package in a box was something I really wanted, and I like the suit. I like the attire. I like what we have here. It's a very cool piece, and again, excited to add Mean Gene to the collection. It was long overdue with, actual packaging, and that Hulk Hogan being a very, exclusive to this. I don't think we've seen Mean Gene Mania on any other Hogans, at least that I know of. And if they are, they must be basics because I probably didn't really pay attention. So I think this is the only one. But if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. Alrighty, up next, we're going to go from WWE. We're going to jump into AEW for a brief moment here. And we've got none other than Ortiz coming out of the Unmatched collection. And I really needed this figure for more reasons than one. Obviously, trying to complete a lot of the Santana and Ortiz duos. I believe they have had, I think, 4 sets of them in AEW. I could be wrong. I think they had 4 sets of figures. And as of right now, I have 2, or maybe it was 3 sets. I have 2 of the 3 or 4 sets, and half of one. So essentially 2.5. Got to get the Santana from one of the other previous Unrivaled sets, but this Ortiz coming into the collection. Very excited for this, happy for this because we needed it. And of course, it also corresponds with a very set gimmick, with the inmate attire, and obviously all the stuff that Chris Jericho was doing with the Inner Circle and all that other stuff. It was a very cool time to, again, to be a part of a faction with Chris Jericho. And I'm almost positive that's what it was. I believe it was Ortiz, Santana, I think Jake Hager, and Sammy Guevara, I believe, as well as Chris Jericho, and they were all together as the inmates or the Inner Circle or whatever they were calling themselves at that time. But we've got Ortiz here coming out of that line, that series, and of course we got to make sure it stays complete. We got Santana, he's going in there with him. And Santana, wow, what a year he's had. What a career he is starting to really have. It's amazing, and I'm so happy for him. He deserves it. He's worked so hard. He's been around for a long, long time, and he deserves to be a top guy without a doubt. So him being the TNA champion now is so well deserved. I got to watch it live. I got to witness it live at Bound for Glory, and how cool is that? Some cool pieces in this as well. Obviously, the extra head sculpts, the baton there, and he's also got a hand with a fork in it in case he wants to stab somebody in the eye, pulling the Abdullah the Butcher out here. But Santana looking good in the AEW Unmatched line. Up next, guys, I got one for you that's going to make you laugh. This will be a real good one for you. So I bought Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis because we're trying to complete the Wyatt 6. So I'm going to throw these up here together for a second. And this will really give you guys a good laugh. And I'm the first person, I'm not over here bad-mouthing, I'm not over here bashing, but you got to keep it real when it happens. You got to be honest, you got to tell people the way it is. I love Ringside. I've been ordering from them for years. They are 110% one of the absolute top dogs, if not the top dog in the wrestling business when it comes to action figures and being able to get almost everything you need in one spot, aside from exclusives, such as Target, which sometimes they even still have those, as well as Amazon and Mattel Creations. Every now and again, they even still have those. But with that ruled out, as you know, Ringside sometimes does offer a discount on damaged packaging. So, to give you guys a good laugh here, Joe Gacy, normal, regular, full price. Dexter Lumis, clearance because of damaged packaging. So, damaged, not damaged. When they came in, I've got a split here, a split here. This is all crushed. This corner is crushed. The back of this is crushed. It's all creased in, as you can see there in the light. And it's pretty banged up. And then this figure, the Dexter Lumis, this was supposed to be damaged packaging. This thing is closer to mint than most of the figures I see on the retail side of things, like in Walmart or Target. This thing's in pretty good shape. So, either way, hey, regardless, the figures, I believe, were the same price. So no matter how they make it work or how they word it, I paid the same regardless. But either way, it just does suck sometimes because thankfully I'm not super picky about stuff like that. I'm happy if something has a package. Of course, I don't want it to be completely destroyed. But, this right here, it is what it is. We got Joe Gacy, we got Dexter Lumis, both of them added to the collection. First figures of both of them for me, and first time in the line for Joe Gacy. Very, very cool, though. We also have another one coming up in this video that will round out some of the Wyatt 6, and can't wait for that 3-pack in Walmart. That's how we will be getting Sister Abigail, as well as the Eric Rowan. So very excited for that. Can't wait for that. And these two are now logged into the system. Up next, we've got none other than the icon, the legend, one of the greatest to ever do it. It is Eddie Guerrero. This right here is his Ultimate Edition that they've redone, they've repackaged, they've given us a little bit of a reboot, and we've also gotten a new attire. So I do still have the other one. I don't plan on getting rid of that. Very, happy that they were able to do this, and I wanted to add this Eddie regardless, just because I do collect Eddie Guerrero figures, simply just because I loved Eddie. I will say this every time, he is the first wrestler in my lifetime that passed away that literally brought me to tears. When I turned TV on that night and they put out that tribute to Eddie Guerrero, and they said that Eddie Guerrero had passed away, a 10 or 11-year-old Matt was in absolute tears. After my tears had dried a little bit and the show continued, and I continued to watch SmackDown or Raw that night, Eddie was in a fatal 4-way on my Fig Fed, and he walked away the WWE champion that night. And of course, it was only fitting, it was only right. But this Eddie Guerrero, very cool. They do give us the same shirt we got last time, but it's displayed in reverse. So if you have them side by side, you can see both sides of the shirt. It does come with that cowbell bull rope there, which was iconic, I believe, from his match with JBL, if I'm not mistaken. And again, a great figure here, the purple attire, the iconic boots that we've seen now on a couple of Eddies. And again, Ultimate Edition, and I'm so happy to add this to the collection, not only to my collection as it is, but to the collection of Eddie Guerreros that I am starting to build up here, and so excited for that. So Eddie Guerrero, a legend, an absolute icon, and possibly even on some people's GOAT list. Up next, as I said, we are bringing in the Wyatt 6 with a little bit more, and it is none other than Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy here is looking good in the Ultimate Edition line. Did he need an Ultimate figure? I don't know. That's to be debated. I'm not going to sit there and say it's good or bad that we got this figure. However, I don't think that it was completely necessary. I mean, it would have been cool. Get the Joe Gacy, get the Dexter Lumis, 2 separate Elite sets. You grab those. Then you get the 3-pack Rowan, Uncle Howdy, and Sister Abigail from Walmart or wherever, wherever you find that. And, that would have been cool. Complete the Wyatt 6 that way. But I do think it's cool that we also did get this Uncle Howdy here. I mean, again, could we have gotten some type of soft goods and an extra head sculpt with an Elite, and it probably would have been just as good? Sure. I mean, here, like I said, we get now 2 sculpts, the jacket with the arms, with the extra hands, with the lantern, with the hat. So there is a little bit more here to be desired. And of course, the figure probably a lot better in posability aspects as opposed to the the Elite style. But Uncle Howdy, Wyatt 6 coming together here, and very excited for that, and I'm looking forward to that 3-pack whenever I do find it. That is going to be a big one there, and especially as far as completing factions. As I have said before, I am very, very much trying to complete factions. It is tough, but we do what we can, right? Up next, completing the newest Ultimate Edition wave with Eddie, Uncle Howdy, and of course, now, it is always Tiffy time. It didn't matter if we were not going to get her into one of those episodes in the 80s, which were for the ladies, because it is always Tiffy time. It does not matter what day, what hour, what minute, you know exactly what it is. And Tiffany Stratton looking great here in this Ultimate Edition. I say it many times. I've said it many times. I will say it many more times. The ultimates of most female wrestlers that we get, I always feel, are just a little bit of a step above, an Elite. I feel like if we had gotten this figure and it didn't have the extra head sculpt, had the 2 sets of hands and the Money in the Bank briefcase, I feel like that would have, been just fine. I think that would have, probably sufficed for the general collectors. But as ultimate collectors, love the packaging, love the uniform of the packaging, and, just how it's been so great to us as far as what it's given us in the Ultimate line. I think the Tiffany Stratton does fit right in here, and very, very happy to put this in the collection. Sometimes I say, and I use the term one and done, do I think I need another Tiffany Stratton after this figure? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. It'll depend on what they come out with and what we find out in the wild or, as time goes on. But Tiffany Stratton, obviously, well-deserved place in the collection. Happy to have her here. And we'll see how things go as far as her future figures. All right, guys, we're already over the 20-minute mark. We're going to try to keep it into that 25-minute mark, and we're going to run through these next ones a little quick here. We got from the vault, it is Series 6, Scott Hall, NWO. I did not purchase this the first time around when it was the ringside exclusive already, and it had that special packaging. I never got this figure. I was not collecting around that time, or I was seldomly collecting around that time, very on and off, so I did not get this figure then. But Scott Hall, looking great here. The black and white NWO, comes with the shirt, comes with the vest. He's got the spray can. He's got the extra hands, all that great stuff. This one right here is definitely one I would not wait on. I would not hold up on it too much. Don't pass. Get it while you can, because when they're gone, I'll tell you, man, this is going to be one of those ones where you're going to say, man, I missed it once. I don't want to miss it twice. And even still, I say that about this next one. Same thing here, a former ringside collectibles exclusive, and it is the Wolfpack, I believe, style, if they would have called it that, the Wolfpack NWO Kevin Nash. And again, this is one that I did not purchase when it came out the first time. I was not really collecting, or again, probably kind of riding the fence on that time, that era. I was kind of getting things, but I was also getting out of, wrestling at that time in all in one swift motion, unfortunately, and, selling everything, getting rid of my spot at the flea market that I was at for so long, having the booth and the stand there that I did for so many years. So a lot of things all happened at once, and this Kevin Nash, again, just like that Scott Hall, I passed on it that first time. I wasn't really collecting. I was not going to miss out on it this time. It is a great figure. And I think I'm actually going to take the belt off him so I can display it just as is with the attire that's on it. So we'll see how we do that in the future. See what we take it out, we unbox, we review. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Kevin Nash coming out of that from the Vault Series 6. And I don't want to get too much into it, guys, but man, between greatest hits, Legends greatest hits, from the Vault, and I think I could even maybe throw in the top picks line. Man, Mattel has got to get it together with what they're putting into certain lines, because certain things just do not fit, and it is what it is, but hey, what can we do, right? Continuing with that from the Vault Series 6, we've got Cactus Jack, and this is a good one right here. A lot of accessories. We're going to definitely open this one up and display it a little bit differently. I want to show off that shirt that's underneath and kind of set that flannel off to the sides. Very cool figure here. And, like I said, I passed on this one the first time around. I believe this was either the WrestleMania set, Build-A-Figure. I could be wrong, the Danny Davis set, or it was something similar to that around that time, that era. So I really do want to make sure that I get things like this when they come back around, because for me, this is a true great re-release. So hopefully we will see something like this in the near future. Maybe a little bit of a different version, get a different version of Mick Foley, Cactus Jack. I know they could do a few different things, and we'll see how those turn out, like I always say, because again, we're starting to fill that gap now for Mick Foley's as far as Mankind and Cactus Jack and Dude Love and all the attires and personas of Mick Foley. It is definitely starting to come together, and I'm not sure how many more we'll need, but I guess we'll see again how the future plays out with these figures. Up next, and I usually always say I save the best for last, but with this video, I was just moving through here on these, and this, I don't want to say is not the best for last, but it is not what I would have picked to be the best for last. Still a great figure, though, and still a great talent overall. It is none other than the whole effing show. It is Rob Van Dam, Mr. Monday Night. Rob Van Dam looking great here, coming with that trash can accessory, which is very cool. But I do love this figure. I love the singlets, and that's another thing that I collect is, Rob Van Dam is one of those guys where I'm always like, all right, I gotta make sure I stick with it, stay with, getting these figures when they come out, because I missed out on so many. I sold some that I already had, so I definitely want to get these RVDs as they come across, re-releases or even new releases. So very cool figure though here. The singlet is awesome. I love it. I think it looks great. And maybe I'll even unbox and review this one so we can show the whole singlet off. But RVD, Mr. Monday Night, Mr. ECW, the whole effing show. He is the end to this whole effing show. That is for sure. So Rob Van Dam here, though, looking great. And guys, I appreciate you being here with me for another episode of New Pickups. Again, if you've been with me for 90 previous episodes, I appreciate it so much. If this is your first episode today, I do appreciate it, and I would love for you to get over to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon, because that's how you'll get notifications on me every single day, because we are dropping videos each and every single day, so make sure you check that out as well. Hit that bell icon, and get over to the comment section of this video. Leave me a comment. Tell me what's your favorite figure, what's your least favorite figure, which ones are you going to jump on, which ones are you going to pass, are some of them going to be long game, are some of them going to be no game? You tell me in the comments below. And until the next video, guys, as always, I appreciate each and every single one of you. Stay safe, stay tuned.